We mentioned Gene Wooten several times over the past years, and what a good dobro player he was. The things that people didn't know was Gene played all the instruments, and he used to come up on the weekends, and we've got a little tribute to him, and you'll see where we played in the park and things. But Gene was a master at all the instruments. I heard him play all of them: the guitar, the fiddle, the mandolin, the dobro, the banjo. He was great on all of them. And these two particular guitars here were two of the five that Gene had of mine. And I've been asked many questions many times about Gene's guitars, and the most question I've been asked was, what happened to Goldie, his famous Goldie guitar? This is Goldie right here. This was the one that Gene played for 12 and a half years. He dearly loved this guitar. The one next to it is Gene's Jumbo Cherry. Now, Gene was so crazy about this guitar, but he got this Jumbo Cherry about 8 months before he passed away, and it was the only guitar that he played, other than one time we made a tape of him. It's a little lesson tape that I made about 2 weeks before he passed away, and I asked him to play Goldie on it, and that was the only reason he played it. This was the last guitar he played. It was the only guitar he played the last 8 months that he lived. And I will show you the difference in the sound of the two guitars. Now, most of you out there who knew Gene and the Osborns know the sound of Goldie. I don't have to tell you. But I'm going to strum my finger across Goldie, and then I'm going to strum my finger across his Cherry one. And this one is Goldie. This one is his Jumbo Cherry. As you can see, there's a lot of difference in the tone of it, and that's what has actually made my Jumbo Cherry the most famous guitar I got. Another thing I'd like to tell you is, if you have a particular wood that you would like for me to build you an instrument out of, send me the wood and I'll build you the instrument to your specification. That's another thing. Most of my guitars are one of a kind. It's guitars that people have called me and ordered and told what they wanted on it, and I build them. I don't build what they call a basic standard guitar. I've got a basic standard guitar, but most people usually change it if it's no more than just a piece of pearl. I told you a while ago about the Cherry, that it was the most popular wood that I've got. This Cherry, here's one of the boards that I've got, and I've got, by the way, a limited supply of Cherry. This is one of the boards. This Cherry is 60-year-old air-dried black-heart Cherry. And if you'll notice, you'll see the grain in this Cherry. Now, once the finish and the stain hits it, we'll go over to this guitar, this place has turned black in this. And this was a neat characteristic of the Cherry that I really like. My walnut is also air dried, 60 years old. They both came out of the same wood. It was in my family for about 60 years. To the world. I told you earlier about the poplar wood that my fireman friend tore out of the old house that was built about 1825. This is a piece of the poplar that I make my sound wells out of. It's about 11 and a half inches wide, and you can see that it's got many coats of paint on it. This thing was made about 1825, but this is actually green when you cut it down. It's the old green poplar, and this is what I make my sound wells out of. telling you earlier about the 60-year-old air-dried walnut and cherry, and Gene's walnut one was left natural. We didn't put any stain on it. You can see the green in it. This is another one of the walnut ones that's got a little bit darker wood, and it's got just a little tint to it, but you can see the difference in the wood, how much different they are. Okay, another thing I'd like to tell you is that I also do setups and repairs. What many people didn't know was when Gene was alive, he had a little setup shop in his house down in Nashville, and he set up all the people around Nashville's guitars, and I'm sure he set up Oswald's and Josh's and all those, but what people didn't know was I'm the one that set up Gene Wooten's guitar. Goldie there has still got the original setup in it that I put in it the day that I gave it to Gene Wooten. If you want to contact me, you can contact me. My home phone number is on my website, my cell phone, or my email address. You can contact me. And I have endorsers, and they're on my website, and you can click on them and hear each one of them play. Another thing I would like to tell you, the endorsers, Tim Serrett is playing a jumbo soundpost mahogany model on this. It'll be the only soundpost model of the endorsers, and I just wanted to clarify that.